Growth is everywhere, and that includes finances. Grab a calculator, type in 100 and multiply it by 2. Do it 6 more times, and you'll get $12,800. Imagine how much money you would get in 7 years if you invested $100 in a platform that doubles your capital. It is called exponential growth. You might be wondering why not a lot of people put money into this platform. It's because they don't understand exponential growth. Today, we will tackle the 3 reasons why many people don't understand exponential growth. Reason 1. Education. People don't understand exponential growth because this was never taught in school. The start of the pandemic proved that people were not aware of this formula. They were shocked when 70 cases became 100,000 cases in 67 days. It was even more surprising for them that it took 11 more days to get to 200,000 cases, and in 4 days, it became 300,000. Many people wondered how this happened. Well, clearly, the caught case of exponential growth is something the general public couldn't understand. The truth is, a large part of the population doesn't go beyond basic math. Even those who learn the concept at school don't actually apply them in their adult lives. As we all know, if you don't use knowledge, it fades fast. In the United States, exponential growth is taught in the 9th or 10th grade, and for many people, that is their only relation with the subject. As for the economists and mathematicians, they encounter it as a part of their college studies. So, what really is exponential growth? The uncomplicated way to think of it is the continued multiplication of something. For instance, if you invested $200 on a project that doubled your investment every year, you would have $400 after the first year. But after that, in the second year, instead of the $400, you would make $800. It started 4 times when you started. Add another year, and you now have $1,600, and so on and on. Exponential growth is used in chemistry, medicine, and finance. It aims to calculate the growth of something and what to look forward to in the future. Schools don't teach finance in practical ways that will benefit children in the future. They're given formulas and equations, but they're not taught how to use it in the real world. In the United States, one reason for not teaching finance is that they can't afford finance teachers. Aside from that, finance isn't part of the SATs, so school management thinks the course is not necessary. Most teachers also don't feel qualified to teach it. In a study, only 1/5 of teachers feel qualified to teach finance. The monetary value of exponential growth will slip past if not taught in schools. Students will be adults, and a grown-up won't understand its significance, but they can still learn it by experience, since experience is the best teacher, some might say. Reason 2. Experience. 4 out of 5 will reinvest. Once you experience exponential growth from your investments, you will understand its possibilities and learn most things by experience, because it makes them internalize what they're doing. Mistakes will occur and might hurt, but you'll still learn that investing is something you have to practice to understand. You can never really know exponential growth until you invest and see it for yourself. Many financial gurus tell. People who have never witnessed these kinds of returns you get through long-term investments are skeptical, and they sometimes disregard the idea. Take Bitcoin, for example. How many people took it seriously until they began seeing individuals becoming millionaires? It wasn't their experience, but they saw a clear vision of its benefit. Let us imagine a woman who invests a few dollars in a business. After a few months, she checks her investment back and sees that it has increased by 50%. She would probably reinvest everything she has now or even more. People reinvest to make their wealth grow. If you invest $1,500, that would double every year and you would have $96,000 in 6 years. People also want to achieve financial freedom. Those who have never experienced exponential growth might think it's a scam. There are certainly scammers everywhere, but there are legitimate investments to be made. Some people make excuses not to invest. At the end of the day, seeing is believing. You might only focus on the costs if you don't see the returns. Reason 3. Expenses. The top 10 richest investors in the world are the smartest people. Some of them are gifted mathematicians. Bruce Kovner is the one man on that list that stands out. He is not the richest, but he has the humblest background. He's the 7th richest investor in the world. Bruce was once a cab driver to support himself through his studies at Harvard until he graduated. But now, his net worth is $6.2 billion. Mr. Kovner is a macro trader and the founder of Caxton Associates, which is a global macro hedge fund. He ended up retiring in 2011 after running it for 30 years. He started with very little and now he's a billionaire. Use a small amount to make a long-term investment now. It might take time, but you will surely catch up. Reason 4. Debt. People shy away from investment because of debt. They hardly have the financial freedom to invest since it is not their immediate goal. But remember, you don't have to start big. You just have to start now. Let's have a recap. So why aren't more people investing? It could be a lack of education, experience, or the fear of the expenses involved. You can separate yourself from the herd. Search and start small. Give it time and you'll watch your dreams come to life.